if you are earning a living playing music, you've made it.
That's what this, and
That's what I think.
That's what this interview series.
But that's what I think.
About right now.
That's what I think, though.
Awesome.
Look, the guys that are locally gigging full time, if you want to say I made it in music, I would say that would be a criteria for which you could say that. But you could also say, look, I've made it in music for me because I've created original music. I've recorded things. I have a regular gig that, I don't know, I want to have adult money and not sleep on a girlfriend's
nice.
couch.
Yeah.
That's success to me.
Bro,
Yeah.
Bro, isn't that what this
That's
whole
the
series
whole
is
point,
about?
yeah.
It's
Well,
so
let's
fucking
do
cool.
it.
Okay. Deep inside the music, Todd LaTorre, vocalist, drummer, multi-instrumentalist, songwriter, producer, mainstay, metal,
6'3" badass.
Hell
fucking
yeah.
rip,
Wait, that's you.
12-pack.
I got a pony keg
I'll
right
tell you,
now.
he's got a voice like he's got a 14-pack. Welcome, Todd.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah.
Good to see you, brother.
Right on, brother.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yep. Nice
Right
to see you
on.
guys.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, man, you're the singer of a prog fucking iconic metal act that has spanned 30 years.
45, I think.
Wow.
I mean, it has touched so many people's lives. I have my own Queensryche memories, and it's not about individuals. It's about the vibe and about just the mysticism, you know? And so I think that's so cool that you are not only carrying the torch for that, but you are the torch for that, man. You are Queensryche, in my opinion, and I know a little bit about them, you know?
You know, the five of us as a collective unit make up that, you know? It's still going on. Who would think that with the changes and everything that's happened, other bands experience that you can still have success, but it's one of those rare instances where it works.
It certainly
It's
is.
totally worked, and I've been in the band 14 years now.
And it sustains itself.
Yeah.
It doesn't,
Yeah.
and just shining a light on what he just said through all the changes and the challenges, economically, technology, everything
So much has
delivered, the way
changed.
this music's delivered, pounding. The brands out there pounding it. Fucking awesome. So, you know, did you know you were going to be a singer? Did you know you were going to be a metal singer? I mean, and really, not just like,
No.
no,
No, I mean, you know me as a drummer too.
absolutely.
Okay. So I gigged around here in local bands, original bands, in the late 80s, early 90s. Played all the local places that you know.
Oh, we've been going
Gasoline
over 'em.
Alley,
Oh, yeah.
ML Chasers,
You got it.
the Rocket Club, the
Guys-
Volley Club,
Guys,
Oh, yeah.
these are the same venues that this scene that we have done has.
the old, Jeffries, the Golden Nugget, like
there it is.
every
Yeah.
dive.
Yes.
And cool places too. And I was a drummer, so I always saw myself like making it as a rock metal drummer. And then years pass, and nobody's like anybody around here. This isn't like a scene. Like the death metal scene was a thing, but not like LA where there's all these producers and
Right.
label people and coming in and out of places. It was like not a common thing here. And back then it was like there's a scout coming tonight.
Oh
Yep,
yeah.
Yep.
You remember those
Oh
those
yeah.
words.
Yep.
And when you're young and hopeful, that sounds like a big deal. But
does.
the reality is, nothing happened for me. And then I was going nowhere fast, and went to St. Pete JC, junior college, for a semester. I was playing out a few nights a week, arriving in class just dead tired.
It's
And
a
I
common story.
hung it up. No, I'm gonna do music. And long story short, I just saw myself as a drummer. I liked to sing, so original music that we would write, I would always sing on the demos. And then finally, we had a band with a singer, and that never manifested anything
Well, I could imagine
substantial.
not with having to listen to your demo.
Right.
And then
Well, no,
say,
no. I mean, like the music scene had changed, so a lot of the stuff that I loved and was listening to
Oh,
was like
we know what you're talking about.
phasing out,
Right.
Yeah.
and so that window just got smaller and smaller rather quickly. And then I was like, okay, I'm in, my late 20s. I packed my drums away and didn't play them for 5-6 years, and I thought, now I'm in my 30s. It's never going to happen. That sucks. And I remember going with a friend, going to see like Sebastian Bach, and I don't know. I think Poison was the headliner, but I wasn't interested in seeing that. I wanted to see, I think, Dawkins and Sebastian or something. And I always felt like, dude, I can do that. I should be up there, but it's never going to happen. And so, singing was kind of a fluke thing that I fell into.
Wow.
It wasn't something, I never fronted bands growing up trying to be a singer in any band ever.
Practice in the mirror, get your stance
Nah,
right.
I just love sing. Never did that.
I
Just
did a little of that.
sing in my shop, sing in my garage, in the car like everybody else.
I'll tell you, I don't. I want to keep you going, but when you say something that I got,
Yeah, stop anytime.
When I turned 30, I had fully convinced myself that I'm done.
Yeah.
I missed it. I'm 30. We were taught that as in the industry back then.
Oh, yeah.
Back then, it was like, if you're not freaking 24
Right.
to
Yeah.
27,
Yeah, you're done.
you're
Yeah.
fucking old as fucking. You
Yeah.
might as well not even try. At 55 years old, I look back at that idiot and go, that's when you double down and dig in, So anybody at home, if age is is what they're telling you what it is. I want to get away from this real quick, but I just had that same exact feeling at 31.
But and the other thing too is like in the 80s and 90s, like a look was so important,
Big time.
right? You had to be good looking or cool looking. You had to have badass hair.
Yep.
You had to have the whole get up. But like in the metal world, you could be like Ronnie James Dio. Like you could be older. You
could look like one of the crew.
You could
Yeah.
and that was when I was like, wait a minute, in metal, they don't really give a shit.
Nope.
Yeah.
And
Very true.
so, I always loved that.
Yeah.
It's like these are a bunch of thrashers and like metal guys, and whether it's power metal or death metal or like they don't give a shit about the vanity aspect.
Yeah.
I mean, not saying that a certain look didn't play a role, but it certainly wasn't like at the main, like back then, your looks could be better than your songwriting.
Oh, yes.
And that got you a deal because you had some visual appeal.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So that was kind of like, maybe there's a little sliver, a silver lining that I didn't think about when I was younger, and it's true. It's true. I know a lot of people that are in bands that are older that just got new gigs and like
You just got to
the scene embraces it, because if you're like a metal, let's say even like rock, say you're a Van Halen fan, you're going to be a Van Halen fan forever.
Yeah.
But if you like listen to Nelly in the
It's
90s, like
not going to do
Yeah.
it for
it's
you.
just I don't see
Yeah.
anyone like Nelly.
Put
like,
that Nelly
yeah.
record back on again.
Yeah.
No, it's
Like,
done.
it's just not a
expired.
thing.
Right.
It's ephemeral.
but like Iron Maiden,
it goes by.
Dio,
Yeah.
Sabbath, Zeppelin. Like I can go through a ton of bands where if you were a fan of that band in middle school or high school and you really were in it, you can be our age and you still love that stuff.
100%.
It was great.
Yeah.
It was greatness.
And it was an era, as you know, where, and we deal with this because our demographic, although we have gotten younger people to kind of discover Queensryche through their parents, we still make records. But that model is kind of a dying model. So that we come from an era where you opened the CD or the cassette or the vinyl and you read the liner notes and you
Before you-
saw what kind of gear they had and who they
In
thanked.
sequence.
And they'd be
Yeah.
like, "Oh my God, he thanked this guy. They're
Yeah.
friends."
Right.
You know, like that's so
Look up-
cool.
yeah,
you
yeah, I'm
know,
gonna go get his
you would
record.
read the lyrics,
Yes.
the artwork, everything that was into the packaging.
Yeah.
So we still make records, real vinyl, and we put a lot into the layout and the artwork. But
That's cool.
this generation buys or they listen to singles.
Mhm.
So they're not doing the album experience. And so everything's changing in the industry like super fast.
Mhm.
I'm kind of going off on a tangent.
Well, I
But-
agree with you. And, you know, it used to be the industry's job, in my opinion, and I think it's pretty obvious. The industry was formed around the art.
Well, they would develop you.
Right.
Yeah.
They
As an
would look
artist.
for greatness.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they didn't get. They
Because
didn't
they
want like
thought their
how many
job-
followers do you have on social
No,
media?
They wanted
don't-
to sell
Right,
greatness.
right.
Yeah. Zappa
Great-
talks a lot about this kind of stuff.
Greatness is finite.
Yeah.
Somewhere along the line, some Thompson dickweed that worked in the industry was like, what if we take mediocre
Yeah.
and make it great? Because mediocre is not finite, it's infinite. So we don't have to look for greatness. We create, in a way, I'm saying, we
Sure.
create these ephemeral pieces of art and pop and music that, like you said, you listen to for that year, that summer. This single's for this summer.
Right.
It's not even for next
It's
summer.
not
dog.
timeless. It's
It-
like for right now.
Yes.
Yeah. And
So it's built for that. Is what I mean. It's like mediocrity is.
well, and you think
King.
about, since we're just free form talking here.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
You think about every time one of these like legends passes away or they retire, and you think, who at that level, who right now is writing music like Elton John or Billy Joel or the Beatles or Zeppelin or AC/DC, Iron Maiden, Metallica, the Stones, the Who, Yes, when they start going away, those are stadium acts.
Right.
Okay, those are stadium acts. Stadium, not arena.
Right.
Stadium.
These are
Right.
stadium bands. Metallica's a stadium band.
Oh yeah.
Iron Maiden is a stadium band. Okay, Elton John, Billy Joel, I guess they probably play stadium.
Their stadium.
Yeah.
Okay, then you go, who can sell out arenas every night? I don't mean sectioned off. I'm talking sellout.
Yeah.
Who is going to replace these things with that level of like ingenuity or identification? So there are some guys out there, you can hear them and you go, that's that person. But within like the metal world, everything now, like if you put in YouTube, like how to metal scream, it's going to be fry screams.
Yeah.
It's going to be gutturals. It's not going to be a good old fashioned hitting a real
Diaphragm.
hitting a
100%.
real note
Right.
with
Right.
vibrato,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know,
From the fucking bottom of the pipe.
right,
out to the
like
fucking
an
mic.
actual
Right.
kind of scream like that,
Yeah.
like a Halford type scream or something. And so now, like anyone can just, and it's like, oh, he's a singer. No, he's a vocalist.
He's a performer.
He's vocalizing.
Right.
Now maybe he can sing. I don't know.
Right.
But what I hear now is a lot of people using the same guitar sounds, the same drum replacement sounds, the same vocalizations, and you lose that identifiability. Like when you heard Stevie Ray Vaughan play,
The
you knew.
signatures.
The signature
It's
sounds.
true.
You know, that is so amazing because there are more options now than ever.
And you don't.
Yet-
Yeah.
It's preset freaking
Yeah,
city.
I know.
If you, for lack of a better term, I don't know, but
No, it's true.
it's all these engineers and makers of these pieces are they're falling in the same fucking lane. And
That's why you
so
gotta
isn't
find-
that fucking ironic?
That's why you got to find some that are like, we're not going to do that.
Yeah.
We're going to do this. We're not using all these plugins for every. We're recording real drum, and some people record drums and they just sound replace every hit.
Yep.
We don't do that. Like and when we go through, it'll be like hit the tom. In case it go doom 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 doom, and then that song's over. Hit the tom, doom doom. Tune it up, so everything's consistent. We care about the rooms, the miking techniques, the this, the that, and right
Care.
now,
They care.
we care, and and what's crazy is like there's no record sales.
Yeah.
Like they just suck. So Queensryche, as you know, is a multi-platinum selling band, and all those millions of records before I joined, 20 to 30 million albums sold. Those were days when publishing was real, and you could make enough money off your sales. You're buying houses,
Yep.
you're investing money, you're doing whatever.
Yep.
You can take a year off. Actually, you can go tour on that record for a couple years, take another year or two
Make
off,
more art.
Yep.
make another. So what we do like 100 shows a year. Okay, we're always traveling. We're writing a new record right now, and I'm doing vocals at home on all these song ideas that they've given me. And it's like, I have to be in the right headspace.
Yeah.
I want to feel like doing it. And how long am I home for? Oh, I'm home for 3 days this time. I want to see my wife and my dog and like my mom, my sister, like there's shit I want to do.
Right.
And so you're trying to like make the art within these little pockets of time.
Yeah.
And then you need a record to have a real reason to go do a ground tour. We're still a band. We're a band that still does actual ground tours in a tour bus for weeks and weeks.
Yeah.
Different tour legs.
Doing the work.
We're doing the work. And so that going back to, you had to have talent.
Yep.
You had to have, back then, if a band had a video,
Right.
it was like, oh, dude, you
They're
got a
fucking got
video.
their shit together.
Yeah.
Right
Right,
now, it's like, that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
It doesn't. The record is a business card to go see your live show.
When it was the opposite, you didn't make any money touring back in the day. They would always say touring's a loser. It's just
or labels would give you tour support. That doesn't
you
exist.
pay back.
Right.
Yeah, you owe that.
Right.
Yeah.
Now the record is like a merch booth item more than it is like a really selling thing, where
For
it used
sure.
to be what you could tour on. Now it's, oh, cool. You have vinyl in the merch booth. Cool.
So a band that would sell, hundreds of thousands in the first week, or 1 million, whatever, you take your pick.
Right.
Our last record did in the first week between 8,000 and 9,000 record sales.
That ain't bad if you got a good
My
deal.
solo record did 4,331 the first week.
And those were releases the same year?
No, I released that in 21, I think.
Okay.
My record, and the last Queensryche album was released.
Embrace the Suffering?
think-
Is that
No, Rejoice in the Suffering
Rejoice in the
is my
Suffering.
record.
Sorry.
Digital Noise Alliance was the last one, and
That
I
was-
think we're at 4 years right now. So, but the point is, here's a band that was selling arenas
Right.
and has millions of sales.
Yep.
That it's everybody's now. People will say to me, we're in airports all the time.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys must be a band.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're in a band. What's your band's name? I'll tell them the name. And either they'll know, they'll go Queensryche, or they'll go Queens, what is it? And I'll say, I can spell it for you if you are interested. They'll go, are you on Spotify?
Yeah.
Or do you have anything on YouTube?
Right.
And so,
It's the source. Yeah.
but that's where it is now.
Yeah,
Are
it
you on
is, man.
Spotify?
Right.
I can probably find MP3s of people farting on Spotify.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
that doesn't mean shit to me.
Yep.
But I come from a different time,
Yeah, yeah,
a different world. So now it's like, how many streams? I don't know. I saw something the other day with Snoop Dogg, and he's like, I had, 1 billion, however many streams. It was insane. He's like, the check wasn't even 45 grand. It was well
my
over $1 billion.
Oh my
It was over
God.
1 billion streams.
That's very fucking encouraging.
It's terrible, man.
And it's just like, so some people are like, why would I go through all of this to make a record
Right.
that's not gonna, we still love making them.
Yo, yeah,
You know,
100%.
It's you know what's
100%.
crazy is that we have become so reliant on these platforms or just this digital information world to find out about things.
Yeah.
That's your first question. Are you on my 2 things
Yeah,
that
that's where I
that
can
feed
go.
my life?
Yeah.
You know where I found out about
The record
Queensryche?
store, the radio,
The ether,
yeah, man.
people talking,
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
MTV.
groundswells.
Yeah, right.
Just
MTV.
groundswell.
Yeah,
you
I
gotta
know.
check. I saw this on MTV.
Yeah,
and it was
grassroots,
actually-
yeah.
It was
Yeah.
It was person to
Right,
person.
right.
Yeah.
You don't get that much anymore, man.
no.
It's are you on my feed?
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, I know.
Well, what are you gonna fucking
So,
do?
so the challenge is, and it's hard. How do you, as a band that's been around for 45 years, with a large percentage of your demographic is the age that they are, this age group, how do you adapt with those changes when most of the audience comes from a world that hasn't also adapted like the youth
Right.
knows it to be,
Right.
if that makes sense.
Right.
So it's like,
100%.
how do we stay relevant
In an irrelevant space.
in an irrelevant space, dude?
Wow, what a challenge!
Yeah.
How
It's
interesting.
really hard.
It
So,
is.
thankfully, the band has enough hits and material that if we never wrote another new song, because there was a tour we did about 50% of the show songs, the set was my era with the band, and the other 50 were like classics, and we would rotate hits and deep cuts and stuff. And as much as people will say, we want to hear more new stuff,
Yeah.
when you play it, it's kind of like, and then we'll play, the beginning of Jet City Woman,
Right.
and that's what you hear.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, that's,
Yeah.
and you know what I say? I say, Billy, we sell memories. That's what I say.
absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, they're a heritage band. Fucking A. That means we've stood the test of time.
Damn
Fucking,
right.
that's an
Or-
honor. Fucking,
Yeah,
that's an honorable fucking thing.
they're a nostalgia act. You know what? Nostalgia
And heritage are 2 kick-ass words.
Nostalgia sells. People go, I hear Eyes of a Stranger or Walk in the Shadows or Queen of the Reich or I Don't Believe in Love
Yeah.
or Empire or whatever.
Right.
I can remember in high school, or I can remember cruising with my friends, and it brings them to a happy place. So
100%.
for that hour and a half, if we can transport them to an awesome time, then you're goddamn right that's what we are.
Hell
Well,
yeah.
fucking A, you are. And think about those 2 honorable words, heritage and nostalgia.
Yeah.
You gotta have something to build those.
The
You can
fucking talent, dude.
where is your nostalgia and heritage?
Or let's
I'm talking
see- let's see
a
where
modern-
you'll be.
What I mean
Yeah.
is,
Where will you be in
when will
30
you
years?
achieve nostalgia and heritage? 'Cause
Right.
I don't think you fucking even.
Yeah.
Well,
will.
and that's and that you know what's weird is it's like, well, let's see if they're around 20 years from now, and then they are.
Yeah.
Well, let's see if they're around, and then it's like, oh, they're from the 80s. It's like, but back then you were like, well, where would they be in 10 years?
Yeah. Yeah.
And the band was there in 10 years. There's a bunch of bands we could name that are like
Absolutely.
that. And so I always find that interesting. It's kind of like you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, the band has stood the test of time, has weathered those awful storms, and still does a great business. And then it's like, oh, isn't that band from the 80s? It could be any one of these bands from that era or the 90s. Either way, take your pick.
Yeah.
And so it's funny how people's perception, maybe they don't really understand the value of what that longevity actually means.
Yeah.
That is success
Absolutely.
to me,
Yep.
It is
Oh, 100%.
success, and
you know.
that is success to me as well, Todd. And On that note, what further define? Like, I'd like to know your definition of music, of success in art. Fuck me, just art success, because that's kind of what this show's about, guys. It's about making something your life when there's so many times in your life it's telling you it might not be the greatest idea in the world,
Yeah.
you know? And what does that mean to you? What is music? What does success mean to you?
To me, outside of it doesn't have to be music, it could be anything. Yeah, my dad used to always say, "Son, I don't care what you do, as long as if you are happy and passionate about doing what you do, there's a way to make that financially lucrative. If you're a plumber, that doesn't mean you have to go work for somebody doing some plumbing job that you don't want to do. You could own your own plumbing company. You could expand. You could do specialized kind of work in whatever field. So, whatever you are going to do, you have to love that first.
Wise man.
Because we know a lot of people with a lot of money that are not happy.
Yeah.
So that money is great. Money offers you choices, but it can't fix a job that you don't like.
Yeah.
You know, there are jobs, there are careers, there are passions where you feel like it is work, but you don't feel like it's a job because you love what you do.
Right.
If you're doing that, that is success by default to me. Some people define success as how much money they make and how much shit they have. I don't
Yeah.
care about any of that. I don't care about any of that. I don't care about your house. I don't care about your Ferraris. I don't care about your mansions or your boats or anything else. I've been in Lamborghinis and Ferraris, and I've been in mansions. I've never owned that. I don't want to own that. I physically don't want to own that. I like some toys, don't get me wrong. I love your classic car downstairs. I'd rather have that than a brand new Ferrari.
We'll
Hell
go for a
yeah.
spin.
You know what I'm saying? And so in the music business, as we kind of touched off camera, success in music is earning, if that's what you just do, earning enough money to be able to support yourself. You have made it. People think making it, because when we grew up, making it was being famous. That was what making it was.
Mhm.
Being on MTV, having a real record in a real record store, people knew who you were.
Yeah.
That was like what it meant to make it. At 52, I have friends that locally gig full time. They don't do anything else. That's all they do. They play all the beach bars that you and I, that we all know. And they play covers. And they all play the same covers.
Yep.
They are earning a paycheck by performing music for the establishment, for patrons. To me, they have made it. If you're a session player, if you give lessons, if you don't have to be a performer to have made it in music.
Yeah.
You can be, there's a lot of different branches of that tree within music that you can say, I'm in the music industry and this is what I do.
Yeah.
So to me, that's what success is, and then you have people that have, they earn a living outside of playing music, but their passion is music.
Yeah.
And they will still gig, and they have their following. They will still gig sometimes and have a great turnout and perform well and do original music with covers.
Yeah.
And have a great time. And I think I think the words making it and success are kind of subjective, because it's relative to what that person feels it is to them. But from a from a bigger picture, I think most people consider like making it in music as having a lot of notoriety. I think that still plays a role because that's why everyone gives a shit.
Yeah.
How many followers do they have on social media? That matters to a lot of people.
It does.
And I think it matters more for their ego.
Yeah.
It doesn't say jack shit about the art. It just doesn't.
Especially when it could be bots.
When it can be bots.
Yeah,
so
And
guys,
so
you
it
don't-
doesn't
you
it
don't
doesn't
get-
matter.
It's
Don't
cheap, yeah,
value.
it's herd mentality if you're just looking at numbers and going, I want to be a part of those numbers.
I mean, look,
Isn't that strange?
and now
I got like the opposite is me. It's like a lot of numbers. I'll make sure I don't want to be a part of those numbers. Yeah.
like for me it's kind of like on the one hand I don't give two shits about it. I really don't. On the other hand, I do care about it because when I want to promote something I'm doing,
Yeah.
I want the most eyes on it
Yeah, of
that I
course.
can get.
Right.
So it's a world and a space that I really don't like, but I participate in it enough that I haven't disappeared,
Yeah.
but I also don't put my family on it. I don't put my wife on it.
Yeah.
I don't put inside my house on it. I don't show people every time I check in somewhere where I'm at.
No, you gotta be careful.
I'm very private,
Yeah.
super private.
Yeah.
Good. It's yours.
And so
belongs to you.
that's the only thing that I have
Yeah.
because now people will just show everything
Yeah.
to feel like
They're being seen.
they're being seen.
Ah,
And it's
man.
it's
What
it's
is-
so
Every
nauseating.
man has
It
a
is,
price,
you're right.
man. So what is your price that low? I mean,
And you know what? I like having that accessibility on the one as a fan is kind of cool. It's like, oh wow, look, there's Billy Joel like saying something from his inside his house. He's with his family. He's cooking or
Yeah,
like
yeah.
something. You're like, that's kind of cool. But I liked that mystery of going,
Yes.
I wonder what that guy is doing. And you just didn't know.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You just didn't know.
You had to imagine it. And
You just had to imagine.
You put them in the coolest places.
And they're regular people just like us.
Yeah.
But because they have this stature and this fame, you know, people put them on this pedestal. So and then now you have people that, you know, throw down their hard-earned money. We do meet and greets. We do paid meet and greets. And I think we cap it at 20 people at the most. It used to be 10.
$100 a shot or something.
Yeah, it's like $1.50.
Fucking a half.
And they
$3
get,
grand. We'll meet
you know,
Come on.
And so, you know, we'll do 10 to 20 people every night, and we spend a good 20 plus minutes with them.
Well, let me ask you
So we
this:
talk-
how did they really? Did they get a lot out of that?
Dude, they love it.
Well,
Oh, yeah, they
it's
love
still
it. Because
there.
the-
Then there's how small it is.
Yeah, people will come and they'll say,
They
will say,
everyone used to be those 20.
"You have no idea
Yeah.
what this band's music means to me,"
Oh,
or
yeah.
my mom just died,
Oh,
and
buddy,
this song,
got me through it.
or my husband passed away, and we had tickets to this show 6 months ago and the meet and greet. He was supposed to be here, and they'll cry
The
to
shit
you.
that you
Oh,
come across,
man.
people,
Dude,
their stories.
These are real people,
Yeah,
and even at our age, we have people that will wait hours outside the bus to sign their vinyl.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
dude,
Or
I tell
to
you this about
sign
you
things.
that I know through the industry and is very well known in the metal industry is that you are extremely approachable and give fans a lot of time. And that's something that's not that I mean, I know that because that's easy information
Yeah.
to get. I did a little research on you, and one of the biggest comments I heard from fans,
Well,
I
that's
just kept
nice.
reading comments, and they're like,
Yeah.
the guy gave us all this time. He's so approachable. He's so fucking cool. So
I try. Look, I mean, I've seen some comments where people are like, "That guy's a fucking asshole."
how
Like,
the fuck-
and,
I didn't see
I'm like,
this.
and I'm like, if you think I'm an asshole, you had to have been an asshole to me
Yeah.
first, because I might be in a hurry walking somewhere on a phone, and it's like, hey, I can't, and they're like, "Oh yeah, right, what a dick," and it's like, no, I have a life
This is my
too.
sister or something.
whatever.
I'm doing, my
Yeah.
mom.
You
I'm
know,
talking to, man.
But I always, and in my personal life, I am not a spotlight person. I'm just not.
Yeah.
You're a drummer.
I don't go out.
He's a natural drummer.
Yeah, those
exactly.
lead singers are dicks.
Right. He's drummer mentality.
You know,
man.
I'm not a look at me. Hey, in social media, in my work environment, I can handle that. But in my real normal life,
Yeah.
I don't. Most of the reason why I don't ever go to shows, especially when they're bands that I know, is because I know a lot of people there are going to know who I am,
Right.
and they're going to want that interaction.
Yeah.
And I, because that's not what I'm seeking,
Yeah.
it's something I kind of shy away from.
Oh, yeah.
But when I'm in that moment, I will do my very best to accommodate someone's kindness. Hey man, can we get a photo? Or they'll be like, hey dude, you're from Queensryche, can we get a picture? Sure, and I do everything I can to
Sounds like you just go into kindness mode.
because you know
Yeah.
what, dude, here's
you're
here's
like-
because here's
Sure.
what I think. I think at the end of the day, when I'm dead, I want people to go, Todd was cool. He was a nice guy. He was funny. And they could talk about whatever talent they think I had after that. But you could be the most talented, badass dude
Yeah.
and be a dick.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, what was that guy like?
He was.
Man, what an egomaniacal asshole.
Yeah.
He was awesome, and so who you are and how you are is paramount to me. And not only that, there's times where I've lost my voice. And I did not sing well, and I struggled through the show. And I've said to the audience, hey, listen, I'm fighting I have laryngitis. I really shouldn't even be on this stage. But I also know if we cancel, that screws everybody's pay. It screws everybody that bought a ticket, people that flew in from out of town that got hotels. I don't want to give them a bad performance. I don't want to cancel. What do?
You go.
So
You
I
do what
say,
you do.
I'm going to need you to help me. I'm asking for you to help me. I feel like total shit, but I'm going to power through it the best that I can. Please be understanding of that. I feel awful, but I would feel worse if we couldn't perform. And when people like you for you, they will champion you and overlook your illness
He fucking wins them over.
because they like
But
you.
he doesn't win them over calculatedly. He just wins them over.
You just be honest.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
You say, look, I'm a human just like you.
Exactly.
And I feel like absolute
behind you.
shit.
Yeah.
Helping
And
you
then,
sing.
and then they're like,
Well, let's sing with them.
And so that's kind of a testament of the point that how you are really matters way more than anything else. And it's just like if you are in sales, or my upholstery business I had for 20, 25 years. Okay, that was what I did.
Custom upholstery,
Yeah.
automotive.
Yeah,
Boats.
your
Oh,
cars, shit like that.
Well,
I did street rods.
I could use a fresh
I did
red,
street rods, and then I got into all kind of worked with interior decorators, doing all this stuff, boats, motorcycles, whatever. But I looked like this. I had long hair, nose ring, tattoos, and I would show up,
Same guy.
and they got a referral from Dr. So-and-so or this lawyer or whoever, or, hey, my buddy's custom car, I love what you did in that, and all the word of mouth. And so they're really buying you
Yeah.
first,
Better believe it. And no matter what you do.
no matter what you do. So the moral of the
100%.
story is just, and to me, that goes into the success part.
Yeah.
Because you can have money and notoriety in a business, but if you're just a jerk, I don't think that's very successful.
Yeah.
Right. No matter what it reaped. No matter what your
Because
numbers
the
are.
Yelp review on who you
Yeah.
are as a person is not going to be successful
Right.
if you're a jerk.
And there is a everlasting, permanent, fixed Yelp review on all of us in the universe, and it's up. It's there,
And-
you're
and-
gonna read it one day.
And
Someday, yeah.
as a musician, people will be like, "Oh, that live show from blah blah blah. Listen how flawless that was." And you're like, "That's before everybody had a cell phone. You don't know what punch-ins and fixes they did on that live footage you're
Course.
watching,
right,
You know how it goes.
Yeah,
So when you're doing it live, that's what it's about.
Yeah.
If you can't really do it live and you're just like a studio guy
Yeah.
relying on the things that we know you can do, all the tunings, all of this, all of that, you cannot hide, you can't fake the live. Well, you can lip sync, but my point is
Yeah.
you
You
can,
can't fake it if you're doing it real.
you're doing it for real.
Yeah.
Like people, and kind of segueing into a different topic we don't have to get into, but you know, with AI and everything, the live performance is kind of like the only last thing we have left
It's true.
that's real.
That is true. Yeah.
Because now I see ads on social media and it's like, want your voice to, you know,
Yep.
do you ever are you not a singer but wish you could?
Yep.
Oh, I got a buddy.
Now this thing
Yeah.
can make you, and here's this regular guy.
Oh my God,
singing like a birdie.
I got a buddy. He's been writing songs all his life. Damn
Man,
good
it's so fucked
songwriter.
up.
Damn good songwriter.
Yeah.
He's gotten hooked on putting some bullshit into the fucking AI and haven't given him back a fully produced record.
In 20 seconds.
And he's sent them to me, and they have a very high quality of sound.
Yeah.
They have a lot of production.
But you can
nuance to them.
you can hear the formula.
Oh yeah.
When you hear those
all it
songs,
sounds like, excuse me,
formulated stuff.
is
Yeah.
it's in the front. It's
Yeah.
like formula, you know, and it only takes about 30 or 40 seconds for me at least
to get
start
that.
going. I've already heard everything this thing has to say, and there's 3.5 more minutes left in the song. You know what I mean? It's like a Taylor Swift song to me. Sorry if there's any fans.
No, but
She's very
I know what you're
talented,
talking about.
But first 15 seconds, I guarantee you, I've heard this entire track. I know exactly where this is going.
and it's that radio format, that radio formula.
Yeah. It's
TikTok formula at this point.
Yeah,
That 30
must
and I don't
be.
even have
everything in-
TikTok, but
Right.
yeah.
Well, no, but me
But I know
neither.
you-
But I know
a similar,
that-
a
30
homogenous,
seconds.
a similar.
Give me the whole song in
thing.
30 seconds. You know.
Well, I'll tell you,
That's
on
great.
that tip, and AI and all this technology in every aspect of our lives, I'd like to know what your thoughts are on off-world technology, off-world beings, aliens. And I ask this, I'm not just randomly throwing this
Yeah,
in there
sure.
because Queensryche, just to me, I just am going to go back, it has this cathartic Knights of the Templar mystical, you know, Dungeons and Dragons world of its own.
I mean-
and so, like, what are your thoughts on, like,
So
To be honest.
I don't think we ever have had aliens that are like the military has. I don't believe in any of that stuff. I think that I don't think we're the only kind of intelligent, sentient life form in the universe. I'm sure there's something else somewhere.
Has to be.
But you know, as far as Queensryche goes, Queensryche was always pretty forward thinking. You know, I mean, if you listen to the song NM156, it's so far ahead of its time, and the lyrics are like, uniform printout reads end of line, protect code and tech leaves little time. Erratic survey, free thinking not allowed. My hand shakes, my push button silence the outside crowd. And
Fuck
then
yeah.
it's like, you know, one world government has
I
preferred. all,
agree,
you know,
yeah.
whatever. And so it's like very like talking about computers, talking about
Data. and-
very all that and like the second verse talks about just that. And so there's like all these very forward thinking kind of it wasn't like the band never wrote about like sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
Yeah.
Like there's awesome songs. Like I love Rat.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I love Rat and I love AC/DC and you know, but like and Dawkins, but like we don't write songs like about hanging out on the boulevard
Yeah.
and the strip and you know, girls, and like
Right,
we don't
right.
don't write that. We write about social things, geopolitical things. You know, and a lot of my writing has always been very political, very I'll touch on religion. I'm an anti-theist, but I don't tell people what to think. but I will say things that might be thought provoking to just make them maybe question their own things.
Civilization,
But like,
issues,
but
almost a bigger picture issues.
yeah,
is what
like,
they think,
right.
you know?
And so there's usually a common thread about like political issues, and a lot of this shit is timeless. I mean,
Oh,
stuff that
yeah.
people talked about during the Vietnam War,
Right.
Yeah.
all of those things. And it's interesting because Operation Mindcrime, hailed as one of the greatest concept records ever written,
Yeah.
alongside like The Wall or something.
Yeah.
Talked about, it was a political, there's politics. I mean, there's a lyric that says, "We'll burn the White House down"
Yeah.
in a song. And so, a song called Speak. And if I were to write the lyric now, "We'll burn the White House down,"
You'd have a file on you,
I'd have a file on me,
For sure.
which you probably already do.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Come at me, bro.
Right.
But, or some people will say, because as an American, I'm an American first, and I'm vocal about what I think about politics. And I always preface it that I'm not speaking on behalf of the band. And I usually, if somebody asks me, I'll tell them what I think. But, now everything is so charged and heated.
Yeah.
If you talk about politics now, people will say, "Oh, just stick to singing. We don't need to hear about your politics." And I'm like, wait a minute.
The entire
Operation
band-
Operation
Yeah.
Mindcrime
Right.
is completely about revolution and all of this kind of stuff.
psyops and mind control,
Yeah.
controlling masses,
And it's
Yeah.
like do you see the dichotomy? I don't think
Yeah.
you realize what you're saying.
Yeah.
You're actually, but I could write a song about you telling me to shut up, which I have,
That's
Hell
a good
yeah.
idea.
and
Nice.
people love the song,
All right, that sounds like
and they have
fucking
no
hot tune.
idea what I wrote, and I
Love
still don't
that.
talk about it. I've written a song about people literally doing that,
and they've responded to it.
and they love it. And it's about me basically being told to shut up and don't talk about it. But I sing it and they like it.
Okay, yeah, this is good
Yeah, that
talk
makes sense.
because that's how complicated. There's a facade life, it's digital,
Yeah.
fucking internet life, and then there's our.
Are we the
life.
old guys like get off my lawn
God
now?
dang,
Well,
I
I
think we
think
are.
it's
Get off
buddy.
my
But
lawn.
Get
I
off
hope so,
my
man.
lawn.
Yeah, no, I know what you're saying though. That's crazy.
It's like two different sets of mind.
It
You got
is,
your
you're right.
digital set of mind that you change when you go on it, and then when you were exposed to something actually like that, you're
Yeah.
like going like this too.
Yeah.
I think
So, mean,
people are so impulsive and quick to react. And I've been guilty of it a time or two. But I don't know how much thought is put into craft. Like, have you ever been like really upset? Either sad upset or raging pissed. And you're like, and you start writing this email, motherfucker.
yes,
Right?
yeah.
And then
Oh,
you're
yeah.
all done. And you're like, Control A, delete.
Yeah,
And you're
yeah.
like,
and then
Nope.
you answer with two
And-
words.
and you were
I
like-
guess we'll talk
yeah,
later.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
But you
Yeah.
kind of worked through it.
Right.
You purged to yourself.
Right.
And you didn't hit send.
Right.
And you kind of rethought about it. And then you're like, you know what? I'm glad I didn't send that.
100%.
And so I want,
Maybe there
it's
should
like,
be an
it's like,
option
it's
for
like,
that.
well, you know what? In
Wow.
Gmail, there's an undo.
There is, but you
So
gotta
can
hit it
send-
quick though.
Mine's set to 30 seconds, I
Oh,
think.
okay.
There's times where I've sent something and I'm reading it as I sent it. And I'm like, I'll see a typo that I missed and I'll hit undo and I'll fix. But if
I did
people,
not know this.
yeah, dude, in
I'll look
Gmail,
into that,
don't
yeah.
tell me you're like an AOL guy or something.
No, I got the Gmails.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but the point I'm trying to make is people just can say whatever, have this anonymity. Well, now people are getting doxxed and like people will find you and
Yeah.
expose you.
Yeah.
And that can be a good thing and that can be a really bad thing. But it's amazing because I'll sometimes see some really great statistic or research or something about how social media, how it's like degraded society and how like younger people don't know how to interact with other younger. They're so
They
used
don't.
to emojis and this, that. And then I want to share it, and then I feel like an asshole.
Right.
Hold
I
on.
just
No,
taken
wait.
it.
I
Okay.
feel like an asshole because it's criticizing social media, but the message is good, and I'd have to share it through social media for people to see it.
All right.
So
yes,
there's an irony
that's
there,
true.
and I'm
There
like,
is a self-realization.
true,
and I'm
man.
like, I would love to share this
Yeah.
because it talks about how bad this
Yeah,
is.
yeah. But
It's
I'm
like
doing it on
the
there.
dog eating. It's like
tail.
it's eating its tail.
It is.
You're right. Oh man, that is fucked up. That's fucked up.
Wow, the profound, deep Todd LaTorre.
it's
Now
so
I'm going
right
to be thinking
about
about
that,
that.
but goddamn.
I got to unthink about that because I'll just start going, that's true. We use it to say we shouldn't do it, and then we insult, and then we.
But we do it
use
to say we shouldn't
Yeah.
do it.
Right.
Yeah, that is wild.
Oh,
But
oh,
it's like
yeah.
it makes sense on both
It
sides.
does.
I guess it
You're
does.
like,
It's almost
I-
like the atmosphere. I'd like to go into the experience of commanding and fronting Queensryche. And I'd like to speak more on the big PAs, the big shows you've done. There's a lot of them. A, are you nervous before you go on still on the big ones? And B, what's it like power wise and force wise on, let's say, when you do the big festival shows and the big shit?
So I'm never nervous before a show. Only if if I'm sick, then I'm like freaking out. But if I feel fine, rock and roll. Like I'm not nervous at all. In fact, a lot of times I'm like, so I a lot of times I'll be like, I could just go take a nap right now.
Well, you're
Awesome.
centered, man. That dude.
You know, I'm
fucking
we
impressive.
we played Vakken. It's like 100,000 people out there.
Okay, here we go.
Okay. And my friend Eric, he was in Europe with his family, his wife and kid, and I think the kid's friend. They went home. He's like, hey, if I stayed a few days, could I roll on the bus with you guys? And everybody knows him in our band. He's like family.
Cool.
Said, yeah. So he rolled with us for, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 days, whatever it was. And so he was there and he's like, I always wanted to go to this festival. Some people say Wacken. I say Vakken. And it's just a sea of people.
Where is this? Where?
Germany.
Oh hell yeah.
Okay.
All right.
It's massive.
They do it different.
Dude, it's nothing like the US. Anyway.
Yeah.
So pre-rolls getting ready to start. They have a kabuki, that's gonna drop and
Oh,
suck
cool.
down,
Yeah.
And he's like, dude, are you psyched? I'm like, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
And he's like, what?
Yeah,
I'm like,
it's cool.
I go, dude, I need a Red Bull, or they make me kind of phlegmy, which isn't good. I said, I could go right to sleep, dude. I just want to take a nap, but I'm gonna go out there and do my job,
You will just-
And so
Get that.
club shows are so intimate.
Yes.
When you're playing to tens and tens of thousands of people at once, there's a good, 20 feet before the first person with the photo pit,
Yeah.
the barricade. It's like, it's far.
Yeah.
So you want to try to shrink the space where you feel like you have them all right here.
Yeah.
But there's a disconnect still, I think, because you're so far away. So I try to hone in on people and sing with them,
Perform to
and-
them.
Yeah, with them. So that covers the nerves part. I don't get nervous. I'm usually like just super calm. Maybe centered is a good word. We don't travel with our own PA. We travel. I'm not a gearhead, so I'm not the guy to give you the breakdown, but I can tell you we travel with our own front of house console, He uses a Waves.
Yeah,
I don't
okay.
know, whatever.
Yep.
We have our whole. We had custom road cases all built. We call it like command center or control, whatever it is, and it has stage left has all our Kempers, our in ears. So we have no monitor mixer, no monitor engineer. We do all our own. I use my cell phone. I pull up QMix
Okay.
and it sets right on the drum riser. I have backing vocals. I have drums all the way around. Michael stage left, Stony stage right, bass all the way around. My vocal a little bit above the mix. It's not crazy
You
loud.
want to breach for it.
Yeah.
Well, you got to be able to belt without
Right. That's why
killing
he
you,
wants to
too.
reach for
And
it. Yeah.
and I might have a little sauce on it, but I try to make it pretty dry for pitching.
Yeah.
It's no fun playing without any kind of delay or reverb or anything, but I've noticed I've had pitch issues when I do that. So dry is the best.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll crack one ear. We're all on in-ears. We don't use wedges. We use Kempers. We also have everything programmed. Everything's on a click. When we run
Yeah.
video, everything is time
Oh,
coded.
yeah. Cool.
Absolutely.
But all of the patch changes. So when the guys are playing a clean intro or they're playing a rhythm and it goes into a lead,
Yeah.
it happens. They never have to do
Oh,
this.
that is sweet.
It automatically changes their patch.
Cool.
And so they never have to.
Oh,
They never touch their pedal board. And there's nobody behind.
must be nice.
There's nobody backstage going that
Yeah,
knows
yeah,
the
yeah.
song.
Just does
Right.
It just does it.
Wow.
So it's all programmed to do the changes because our show is on a click and everything is the same
Wow.
and perfect. It's like a machine every
man, it's
every
not-
night.
it's-
So we're not a band that can be like, all right, yeah, keep it going. Like
Yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah.
not how it works.
Right.
Or dude, how you guys feel tonight?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like that kind of vibe.
Right. Right.
We don't. That's not our
Mapped
band.
out.
Yeah.
That's how we do
Well,
it.
it's a show.
Yeah. It's
It's different.
Yeah.
It's a
yeah,
show.
It's different.
And so
Um,
if you're side stage, you're hearing Casey. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we do have amps on stage for
Okay.
volume.
Yeah, I got you. Okay.
But we use Kempers
Yeah.
for recordings. We've used Kempers on the last record. Michael brought over all of his heads from the EP, The Warning, Rage for Order, Operation Mindcrime, and Empire.
Oh shit.
So we had all of those heads. It's
Good.
like this recorded Jet City Woman guitar. So I know that I used this amp on Empire.
Cool.
And we're like, so every song on the last record was not the same amp.
Yeah.
Whatever the feel of that
Wow.
song was, we're like,
That's
fuck
awesome.
it, try that amp.
That's it. That's
Yeah,
what
why
we do
not?
And
down
so
here, man.
yeah.
nobody does that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So we're
Gotta
like,
have amps to do that.
he had his old I don't know, flanger pedal or something that he used from like The Lady Wore Black or something, like really old vintage stuff that he brought over.
Yeah.
We experimented with. So we don't travel with a PA. We fly on fly dates. We have 21 pieces, 21 Pelicans. We're completely self-contained minus a PA. Sometimes you have really shitty PAs
Yeah.
and sometimes they're just killer.
Yeah.
Obviously, a proper good festival is gonna pound.
They're gonna
Oh, yeah,
have.
yeah.
you know.
So I'm just gonna stay on this for a little
Yeah,
bit.
sure.
The space that you occupy on stage at a big electric show, and
Yep.
it could be a small venue, whatever. The power, are you feeling the band? Like you got Casey behind you, who is just a fucking automatic weapon
Powerhouse.
on the drums,
Yeah.
Yep.
and you have some very seasoned players around you, and you are amplifying the Kemplers.
So the Kempers are going in the house, and then we have amps that give the stage volume. So you do get that feel, but not like a band that's using wedges too.
Okay, so that's what brings me.
And so the low end I'm getting from the subs on the stage, not because Eddie's bass is so loud on stage.
Yeah.
Okay, and that feel.
And
but
same with Casey.
how's that feel?
Kate, sometimes it feels like there's like nothing. And so it's hard to like feel that.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
It doesn't feel robust. Then there's other times where you're like, damn, this, can you turn the subs down and still make it sound good? Because it's rattling my
Shit's working. Your
yeah,
skull.
yeah.
So
Like
compare that to like when you would take the stage with Crimson Glory. That had to
Crimson
be at a
Glory
kind
was
of a
all
time where it
wedges.
was- I would assume so.
I was the so me and the keyboard player were the only ones on in-ears, but so I started using in-ears when I joined Crimson Glory. But I think there were still wedges because if the guys would come over toward me, they would still want to hear some stuff in the wedges. So the Crimson Glory stage volume was loud.
I would imagine so. Just
Was louder than
was
Queen.
more. They were using physical force. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, it was way louder. And when I first joined the band for, gosh, I don't even know how many years. 6, 7 years. Like, our stage volume was like nothing.
Oh shit.
Like, we didn't have cabinets on stage.
Oh wow.
It would just be our Kempers and the scrims. You never saw amplifiers. Everything was hidden with scrims, you know? And our stage volume was nothing. There wasn't really anything.
Wasn't.
It was
drums.
just it was drums.
Yeah.
But, you know, the guys were like, "Hey, you know, we want to feel. Can we get, you know, crank this shit up a little so we can feel it?" So
Right.
they'll stand back by their amps and
Oh yeah.
you know, or feedback. You
Yeah.
know,
Oh,
Michael
yeah.
uses a sustainer. But I mean, I think our stage volume is adequate now. You can definitely hear it. But again, when you're on in-ears, there's that isolation. Yeah, you can feel it, but and we don't use side fills either.
Okay.
We don't use side fills.
Okay.
So if I want to hear me in the house,
Yeah.
I have many different pairs of in-ears, but one of the pair I have are vented.
Oh cool.
And so but I still will crack one. My ears sweat. People are like, "Why is he always messing with his monitors?" It's because I sweat so much.
Oh yeah, you're putting a lot of energy.
I'm taking the tissue paper. I go behind
Yeah.
and I'm wicking all the
oh,
water.
Guys, he's not a sweater. The force he's pushing out of his diaphragm, and your diaphragm is your core, and we've heard about Pilates and shit. All right.
Yeah.
Dude's doing Pilates for an hour and a half. You know,
I mean,
forcing things down from the sky.
I'm a loud
you know.
singer.
Right. Well, that requires
I'm
force.
a loud
man.
singer.
So you sweating your ass off.
I was
it.
doing some screams the other day in the house. My wife
Can we get one of those?
screamed.
Can we get
my,
one of those?
My wife screamed that, like, "What are you doing?" Like, she's
Oh,
like, "What are
shit.
you?"
Are you okay?
You know, and
Yeah.
she's like, "You're gonna hurt yourself." I go, "This is how I
What I do.
make money." What are
Yeah.
you talking about?
fight
I go,
out.
I'm
Use
not
it or
even,
lose it.
I'm not even warmed up right now.
Yeah.
She's like, "What?" I go, "People think I do like these little baby breath high notes." I go, I physically don't know how to do that.
He's sweating his earbuds out.
I mean, you
He's
can hear
lifting
it, though.
weights
you
up
can
there.
tell that you're
Yeah.
doing it. You're
He's
not
lifting. He's
faking it
lifting
like, "Oh,
fucking
this is-"
weights
you can tell
up
when
there,
you're
dude.
doing,
Yeah.
you know, just putting it on or whatever.
So
That's
the
not what you
live,
do.
so the live thing, yeah. I mean, depends on the, and you know, some of them like just don't have like adequate low end.
Yeah.
And then sometimes, you know, it's just like overwhelming where you're just like, dude, this is such a bad setup.
Get brain damage
This
right
this sucks. Yeah, it's like not fun at all.
Yeah.
And but like if they turn them down, it's gonna be shitty
Yeah.
out front.
Right.
So it's like, okay, where can I move?
now. Crack one. Yeah.
Where can I move on the stage? Like if they're right in the center, you know, the
Yeah.
mic stand's doing that.
Yep.
And it's like, all right, I'm gonna be hanging out over here more and less in the middle.
Yeah.
Or I'll say, guys, come into the middle and feel this shit. They're like,
Right.
whoa,
It's too much.
because I'll go over to where they are and it's like tame,
Yeah.
and they come in the middle and they're just like, dude, how can
getting
you do? I
hammered.
said, yeah, this is like not fun.
Yeah. 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 And there's a technical thing that they could do for that. So, like, depending on the venue, sometimes it's, you know, where they can actually deal with that to where it's just shooting out front. It's still kicking ass out front, but you're not feeling it on stage, right?
Yeah.
So, like, between all the different places that you could play, you know, festival, stadium, arena, casino. What is your favorite thing to do?
So 2 answers to that.
Because I know that's also very different.
I love them all for different reasons. So clubs, when they're packed in there,
Yeah.
it's a vibe. It's just a vibe.
Yes.
People think that like the arena shows are like they're awesome because when I saw a band as a kid, they played arenas.
Right.
Unless they were like up and coming before they went big, and then like you were seeing them in clubs.
Yeah.
Then you were seeing them in arenas otherwise. So there's nothing like hearing like, you know, the lights are on and then boom, they go black and you hear the
Right.
That's
right,
a
Okay.
thing, man.
Yeah.
So we did a bunch of touring with the Scorpions. And the last show we played, I think it was the last one of this particular tour. It was like a month and a half through North America. Then we did another tour. Then we did a whole residency with them.
Shit.
But it was at the Amalie Arena.
Oh yeah.
I was like, dude, I get to play my hometown
Yes.
Dude,
arena with the
that's our
Scorpions.
Tampa.
That is
That's
cool
our
as
arena
fuck.
here in Tampa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He comes home,
That was like the show, right?
12-minute drive back to the house.
That was nice.
Yeah, you
And
gotta
so
love it.
there's something special about
Yeah.
arenas. They just sound big,
Yes.
right?
Right.
Casinos, festivals are super fun because I like that atmosphere. I
Yeah.
love a festival vibe
I hear you.
as a performer. And this will segue into my answer about casinos. Festivals are awesome. It's crazy because you have all these drum risers and
Yeah.
the switch over is short, the changeover. But they're fun as hell. But festivals we play they're usually still during the day. We're not like main headliners on big festivals. So there's usually sunlight. So
Yeah.
the shitty thing is you're not getting the light show, the
Right.
feel because it's not dark.
Right.
Unless you're playing like we played in the tent, which is awesome at
Yeah.
Grass Pop.
Oh, cool.
And
Fuck
you know,
yeah.
it's like
You could use a light, so you get
you
the
know,
feel for
yeah,
it.
totally. And so it's a vibe, you know.
Yeah.
Casinos are awesome because you play 75 minutes. They don't want you to play longer. You can't play longer.
I like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
We usually pull out more of the commercial. We still play Queen of the Reich, but
Yeah.
we play more of the big hits. And they want. I always have people that'll text me like a photograph of us on a huge billboard on the highway. Like,
Oh,
look,
yeah.
there's Todd on the billboard,
Yeah.
and they promote the shows really well.
Yeah.
It'll be on the radio.
They got the budget. They got,
They got the
system
budget.
built
That's-
in.
yep.
Yeah.
They're dialed in, and they get people to come in, throw money on the table, gamble, have a nice dinner,
Get a
watch
show.
the show,
Get a show.
and then come back out, have some drinks, play a little more, and then either go upstairs with their significant other and have a good night in a nice hotel room, or they drive back home.
Yeah.
It's a win for them. Our demographic, I remember I was at one of our agents' house. And I was like, hey, why aren't we on this festival or why aren't we on that festival? And part of that conversation, he says, well, number one, person who's has all these festivals, they're going for a lot more of the younger bands. He wants his audience to be going for the next 20 years.
Yeah.
And, for the next 20 years, Queensryche fans are not going to be around or doing that.
They're kids, though.
They're kids, okay? But he goes, at our age, do you want to go stand in a field with a portalette and hot beer?
No.
And the fucking light bulb went off. And he goes, our audience, your crowd, predominantly wants to be in air conditioning,
Hell yeah.
seated,
Some food.
in a nice venue, not
options.
an all day affair.
100%.
And I'm like, dude, that's me.
Right.
I want to do that's
Yeah.
You're talking to me.
Right. Right.
I do not want to go to a festival and stand there all day,
Right.
stand in line in a portalette,
Oh, yeah.
have overpriced shitty food, Not that they're all bad, but you know what I
No,
mean.
but
It's
I mean,
not the
it's
same
a,
as
it's a
going to
commitment and it's a camping like
It's a thing.
experience.
It's a
that
whole
I-
different
And I
experience.
enjoyed it. I did it.
and they're awesome.
Yes,
They're
yes.
awesome. But
You know, $20 waters. You know, come on.
you know,
and you're
but,
dying of thirst.
but it's like, yeah, most of our demographic and audience want something a little more refined, and they just want to go have a nice clean evening and
Get their face
festivals.
rocked off.
Get their face rocked off, and then have a nice dinner and play games, and then go be with their husband or wife or whatever the situation is. That's like a perfect night. And you get great hotel rooms.
Yeah.
They comp you killer, you get so much money in food comp.
Yeah.
So you can go to their
Offsets
steak,
a lot.
their steakhouse.
Oh, hell yeah.
The transportation for the most part is usually dialed in.
Okay, wait a minute. We need a
Casinos are
Queensryche
awesome.
casino tour only.
Casinos are killer, dude. And some people will look at those and be like, "Oh,
Casinos.
No way, man.
Queensryche is your band. Casinos.
Well,
All right,
what's
for
the
all
best
our
one?
casinos watching,
Oh, you
we have a
can't
lot
say
of
that, never mind.
casinos owners that watch the show.
Oh yeah, no, it's mostly casino owners.
Yeah, I mean,
owners.
we-
yeah. So guys, here,
we play a lot of casinos." And the thing is like, those are one-off things,
Yeah.
like fly date stuff. But
Right.
the PAs are generally really good.
Yeah.
The stages are proper. It's just it's a low maintenance. It's just like they have their thing. They do it all the time,
Yeah.
and the dressing rooms are nice.
Yeah. The crew is
It's
usually
The
good.
crew is usually
it's
good.
just infrastructure. That's what they're.
And
They
you
are
know-
hospitality.
and
They
Qu-
understand it.
That's right. That's
That
So
they
they're
are-
like,
yeah.
we know how to integrate a band better than anybody.
And Queensryche is a band that can play clubs, theaters, amphitheaters, metal festivals, prog festivals. We just played Cruise to the Edge, which is a prog cruise.
cool.
So like the only other like metal band there was Symphony X. Those are our
Okay.
good friends.
Cool.
So they were on the boat. But then you have
Good sound on the boat.
I
Yeah.
mean, but
Usually.
then you have like Marillion and Yes and Steve Hackett.
Aliyah, right? I don't
know.
I should never sing in front of Todd LaTorre. Wait a minute. I just sang.
I did
You're
find
like
that a
front
little
of-
odd.
You're like this.
I was like, God.
No, dude, you're a
My
great
idiot,
singer.
My producer just went, don't
man.
ever sing.
You have a great
Yeah,
you have
Catrice,
a
Catrice.
great voice. Don't
Well,
ever say that.
Ali, I thought that was their song.
But the point is like we have such a diverse type of material that we're able to go do the casino
Yeah.
hits crowd,
Right.
and then we can play like metal festivals, like Vakken and Hellfest and all these other things, and people like they dig that too.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're just more linear thrash type of band, maybe you can't play the casinos like we
Right.
do.
Right.
And so
Very
your
versatile,
options,
man.
we have a great versatility.
Well, and you
Yeah.
brought that to the band, or at least restored it with them because you're out there doing it, and are booked at all these different types of
Yeah, we do a
situations
lot of
and
stuff,
venues.
yeah.
I mean, it's proofs in the pudding, guys. And I know he's telling us that, but the band is able to play a very wide spectrum
Yeah.
of shows,
yeah.
and this guy has kept that fucking home fire fucking burning.
I
you
think.
know?
Well, I mean, look, I love the metal stuff. So a lot of the metal stuff that was not being performed before I got in for many years. Now we play like all that stuff.
Cool.
And so more of the commercial stuff I just think songs like Queen of the Reich and Roads to Madness and Child of Fire and The Warning and stuff like that were just not going to be played. And
Yeah.
so I think I was able to help facilitate the band performing like that stuff for like the super old school diehards
yeah.
that miss that stuff.
100%.
But we still play, Empire and Silent Lucidity and,
Oh, yeah.
things like that. Yeah.
Is
Well-
there anything new out there that you listen to now? Anything new that's caught your ear?
That's a good question. Not really, but Casey is a huge fan of the Pineapple Thief,
Okay.
and so I've kind of started to listen to them a little bit. I think that's the drummer. What's his name? Gavin. He plays. He also drummed in like King Crimson.
Oh wow.
Um, Casey will kill me if he sees this, and I don't know his. It's Gavin.
He'll have his chance to come in here. And
Yeah,
talk
but-
to us
But
about
if you like check out the Pineapple Thief,
Cool.
they're killer.
Cool.
it. Have you heard of Geese?
No.
I implore you to listen to him
Yeah.
because of the singer.
Okay.
'Cause he's a singer's singer.
All right.
Now, having said that, might not be.
But I love like Rival Sons.
Oh yeah. Okay,
Oh
cool.
yeah, yeah.
You know,
Yeah, they're a
like
great band.
that's stuff's
Just-
killer.
Yeah, they're
Authentic,
You know,
hard hitting.
yeah, soulful,
Yeah.
hard rock with like this vintagey sound. Like they're just killer, you know. But kind of like I still listen to all the same shit I did when I was
All
like,
right.
in my 20s.
Yeah, me too.
It would make
Right, like I was
sense to
cleaning
you.
the garage
You're a rock,
yesterday,
dude.
and I
This is
was
a
Me
rock
too.
that's been sitting in the.
Yeah,
things
dude.
come by the rock.
I was
the rock
listening-
doesn't go by things.
Right.
I was
Yeah.
working in the garage yesterday, and I played like the whole Loudness Soldier of Fortune
Cool.
record.
Hell yeah.
You know, like I
Rock
love.
and roll crazy night
I
on
love-
that.
No, that's with the original singer,
I like that one.
and that's a killer. That's yeah.
We were
that's a
listening to
killer
Accept
song.
the other day. We
And
put
there
'em
we're
on.
playing with Loudness on
Excellent.
coming up.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Is it? Do they speak English yet?
Yes, but it's not great.
Well, they've gotten better then.
it's not great. But they're
no,
super
because I
super
heard
nice
back in the
guys.
day, man.
Oh, not
these
at all.
guys
Yeah,
would be
they're all-
packing venues,
Yeah.
and they're like, "Look, man,
Yeah, they
don't
don't-
fucking know. They,
Yeah.
Wow.
you just got to point and be like, you're, you know."
Dude.
So,
Yeah,
and they would
they're-
just go
They're
rip.
really nice.
Yeah.
what about Accept?
We just did a tour with them.
Cool.
I heard
So
that
they-
guy's really nice guy, singer. Is my
So Mark,
say what you want here?
yeah,
because
Mark, yeah, Mark. They're all really nice, and they were our support for this last tour we just did, called the Volume and Vengeance tour.
Nice.
So
I
that
like
was
that.
Accept in Queensryche.
That's fucking awesome.
that's
it
a
was-
fucking hard hitting
Yeah.
fucking lineup.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's
it was
badass.
fun.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
they kicked ass every single night. And in fact, Wolf Hoffman just texted me a few days ago about some stuff. But yeah,
That's awesome.
Night-
We were listening to the record the other
Yeah,
day. We listened
yeah.
to like 6 tracks in a row. We were just like, God,
Yeah,
damn,
they're-
that guy didn't give a shit. They
they're
were
still
no
around,
frills.
yeah.
They had no look.
Yeah.
I don't
They're-
think they had a look. The
they're
guy
still-
in a camo shorts cut
Yeah,
off at
Udo.
the knee. Yeah,
Udo Dirkschneider. Yeah, he's the original singer.
is he still thumping it?
He's still around, and he still sounds the same. Yeah, I mean, you know, we play with sometimes when we play festivals, it'll be with like, you know, just a gazillion, like a
Oh,
lot of
yeah.
new bands, a lot of old bands. So you get to see like the younger bands, and that's kind of like my exposure.
Yeah.
You know, but then when we do like, so like we played with Def Leppard and Joan Jett
Cool.
like
Fuck yeah.
6 months ago.
Nice.
It was like an arena show.
Yeah.
So it was just like a few of us.
Did you rap with Joan at all? Or
I didn't talk to her. I don't think she was in a good mood or didn't feel well or
probably
something.
a lot of work. To
But
just
her
get that
dressing,
done.
I would
her
imagine
dressing
too.
room was right across from ours, and then Def Leppard's was like over here. So the Def Leppard guys came over and we hung out and talked for a little while. And
Cool.
Joe
um,
or
so everyone,
Except Joe.
who came first? Rick Savage, he came over
Mhm.
first, and then Phil, I think, and then
Hell yeah.
Joe, then Phil,
Joe.
Cool.
and
Joe came
then
over.
how are we?
Shit.
How are we forgetting? Like
And it's the name I
Oh
know the
my
most out
God,
of Def
dude.
Leppard. Steve Allen.
Rick
no,
Allen?
that's
Rick
the other-
Allen.
Rick Allen.
total brain fart.
Ooh.
He
Well,
we
how do we all
talked.
have the same
We
brain fart,
we
though?
we,
God
we
damn.
talked with him for a while before, but when they came over, I don't think he had arrived yet. But yeah, they were all like super cool and you know, kind of they reminisced when Queensryche went out on the Hysteria tour with them,
Oh shit.
and so they have
Really? Oh.
you know
That was a
they have
that was
great
a lineup right there.
That is
Yeah.
Mind
awesome.
Crime at the same
Yeah, yeah.
time, I think.
Wow.
yeah.
Wow.
And so like they used to I said to Joe, I said, I said, I heard that you guys would hide in the laundry carts when they would, because it was like in the round, I
Oh.
think.
Shit.
And so they would have like security or staff like they're pushing laundry carts, but a band member would be in a laundry cart. So they could go through the whole crowd
Nice.
and nobody knew shit.
It's just
And he's like,
deliver
yeah,
'em
he,
right
he
to
goes,
it.
yeah, we used to hide.
No way.
We used to hide in the laundry cart, and they would push us through to get where we need to go. And I was, wow.
That's
Hell
how it
yeah.
works. Next time you're at a
Right?
big show at your
The guys have
at
really.
your
Pay attention.
Leah Lupa show or whatever it is,
The guys
and you
have
see a
great
laundry
stories.
cart go by, boys,
You know what?
jump in that.
Yeah,
Jump in the cart.
they have great stories from touring with AC/DC and Bon Jovi, and
Oh,
I think
man.
Michael had told me a story once where John Bon Jovi was like talking to him about, hey, do you want to invest in this new company? And he did, and he was like, what's the company called? He's like, nobody knows about it right now. It's like a brand new thing. It's called Microsoft.
What the fuck?
He was telling about Microsoft.
Oh my god.
What a beautiful time, the
Oh.
breaking of the
But-
the
but-
beginning of the end.
But imagine
Yeah,
right
investing in the beginning of the end. Must
But
have been
imagine
great.
right now if somebody said, dude, my buddy's got this. I know about this company. You're going to be like, yeah, right.
Well, that's true.
Yep.
That's
So even back then, you're like,
yeah.
this sounds a little sketchy. or
Microsoft.
How do I?
More like I want to invest in micro hard.
Wow.
So yeah, it's like,
I mean, I remember Bitcoin. Somebody was like, "Hey, man, this new thing, Bitcoin, $5."
and the
I
guy
didn't
that
buy that
bought
shit.
that paid with pizza. The guy that bought pizza with Bitcoin.
What?
It was like, how many Bitcoin did he? Dude, Google.
Yeah.
Oh, he was buying pizza.
The guy-
with,
the guy didn't have-
500 grand worth of Bitcoin.
Yes, the guy. The
I
guy.
just got that. I'm like, what? He's
The
probably
guy-
like, why'd I do that?
The
Well.
guy wanted pizza, and he didn't have any cash. He's like, "Can I pay in Bitcoin?" It was like 10,000 Bitcoin or something.
Whoa.
It was something obscene.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and they were like, because nobody knew what.
Right.
I have a buddy that was living off Bitcoin, and I wouldn't fuck with it when it came out.
Yeah.
But he swore by it.
It's in the tank
And
right
what
now.
he was
Oh, yeah,
doing
yeah.
is he was invested in it, and whatever it made, he used as his daily. So
Oh,
he's like, I eat and put gas in my car every day with what I make on Bitcoin, and it never goes down. And a couple 5 years later, we were talking. I went, wonder how much all that lunches and gas money with Bitcoin would be
Oh,
worth, right?
man.
He's like, oh my god,
That's
I would have just
true.
left it alone. But
Wow,
hey,
that's true. Yeah.
hey, but hey, here's a fun little exercise, and I'm just going over your career and the touchstones, that I see in it, and I want to make up a scenario.
Yep.
I just want you to comment on it. Tour with Crimson Glory goes well. Meet some of the Queensryche guys at NAMM, I believe. I
Mhm.
believe that's where you met them.
Yep.
I believe you might have started a side project, evolved into Queensryche.
hmm
Plus, you got tenure. I would say that. If I don't know quite what that means,
Fuck yes.
you want to look it up. Tenure. I think he has tenure with.
It'll be
Queensryche.
right here in the video.
Right. Yeah. I
Right.
put it up here. So
Right.
Iron Maiden calls.
Oh, come on.
Come on. It's the way it's been going. I'm glad we're talking about it now. So when, you would have done this same thing if I'd have said this about Queensryche to you.
Well, finish your question.
Yeah,
You
right,
haven't
right.
really asked
We
it
haven't
yet.
got to this.
We Maiden calls.
And says,
Want
would
to
he
do
do this to
want
me?
to do want to do a one-off festival with the Bruce's unavailable or retired. The word we talked about, the retirement, and the other one we don't even discuss
yeah,
would be the reason. We wouldn't even bring that up.
I mean, dude, I hate these. I hate these like kind of things because, okay, hey, Iron Maiden, we need an emergency fill in. Bruce is sick. I'll do it.
Oh yeah.
Why
Okay.
not?
Okay, yeah,
It'd be
I'm
fucking amazing.
sold.
Yeah.
Yes, I will do it.
So
Hey,
those tend to turn into things.
well, I mean,
in your story, sir.
Bruce Dickinson's, amazing.
Yeah.
And, I don't here's the thing. I don't think anyone, and now people said this about Queensryche, I don't think anyone would embrace Iron Maiden after Bruce Dickinson. I just don't think so.
Well, they said the same thing about Queens.
I know. Now, let's say that wasn't a factor and they were like, hey, we want you to front Iron Maiden and this is how much you're going to make.
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
The problem is I love Queensryche and I love Michael and Eddie.
Man.
I love those guys. And so money's great,
Yeah.
but man, the people that changed my life, I would never want to be like, well, that was great for that, but now I'm off to this, because if I left, that would change their life in not a good way.
Yeah.
And like, to me,
Wow, man.
that's just not good.
Well,
Yeah.
you've said
Like,
that.
I don't think I can
He's
see-
touched upon that same thing many
Yeah,
times in this
man.
interview for different reasons,
Yeah.
but
Like
they all
that-
are the same. His core is
Yeah,
about
you-
people, man. And we'll move on from this, but when Iron Maiden calls you for this, I want you to remember this. I want you to say this. If you're going to do the gig, I want you to say this. Absolutely, I'll sing, but I'm not flying that fucking plane.
Fuck that. You got to fly the plane.
Oh, I'll sing if I can fly that.
Yeah,
fucking
yeah, that's what I'm
plane. Okay,
talking
there's
about,
two
yeah.
options for
That's
you.
funny.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. And I just
Yeah.
wanted to ask that because I just know who you are kind of by this interview, and I wanted to hear you say it again. But
Yeah.
I mean, look,
yeah.
if it came down to brass tacks, that's a
Oh, it's a-
proposition that nobody wants, because they're so amazing that you're like, wow, like that would be incredible if something like that happened to somebody. But at the same time, it's like, be careful what you wish for,
Yeah.
because there's consequences too.
It's true.
Like, not everybody wins.
Yeah.
It's not a win-win for everybody.
gamble.
It's not. But it's not a
you're
win-win.
in the casino again.
It's not
man.
a. It's not
Yeah.
a win-win for everybody involved, because that would mean you're hurting somebody, and I'm not into that.
Yeah. Your outlook on the music industry in general is really fascinating because
I hate
I
the
don't
music
feel like everybody
industry.
is. Well, I just mean like
No,
how
but-
you approach it.
Oh,
like as a professional.
I kind of agree.
It's really
Dave,
grounded and really
You think
cool,
so?
man.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
No, 100%.
I don't
mean,
know.
dude, I've run into a lot, right? And where you're coming from is really cool and really, real.
It's authentic,
And-
and,
and-
he's like one of the last of his kind. man.
Yeah, that's the thing. You
That's
don't
what
run
it is.
into a lot
Last
of
of the
people like
fucking
you, man.
Mohicans out
And that's
here.
Well,
really
why? What do you
cool.
think most people would say to that proposition?
Well, no, I'm not necessarily talking about that.
Oh,
particular
No, it's the whole
proposition in
thing.
Oh,
general.
yeah.
okay.
I just
You-
mean
you're
this
just
the way you
you-
approach music and
Right.
how you deal with the industry and how you're dealing with
and
what,
how it affects
you know.
other people around.
Yeah. The fact that you even think about everybody else in the band is amazing because it's not the
Which
norm,
which
man.
leads
But
to
you
a
know,
great question.
but I
though.
remember where I was before that,
Yeah.
and Crimson Glory was cool, but it's like the band barely tours. It
Yeah.
does like a few weeks, and then like that's it.
Yeah.
Like, this is a whole different
Oh, yeah.
level of like business,
Yeah.
right? And so I think that groomed me well to be able to get into the position I'm in now.
Yeah.
But like, I don't forget when I was doing the Rising West shows, the 2 shows before I was in Queensryche with those guys.
Yeah.
And I remember being like, damn, this is so cool. I'm playing with the guys at Queensryche. I know it's not called Queensryche, but still.
Yeah.
And I was like, who cares? And then I was like, well, how ridiculous would it be if it said Queensryche and then my name and their names? Like,
Yeah.
And then it did.
and then it did. So like, I have to remember that was so far out of reach. That was so not going to happen.
Right.
And it did.
Yeah.
That I am now going to be like Mr. Big Dick and be like, hey, I'm going to be with this band that's bigger.
Yeah.
And there's this huge part of me that just takes major issue with that.
I hear you. But
even
you know
though
it's because
it
of the
would be
talent.
like ridiculous. I mean, yeah, it's Iron Maiden. Come on. they're massive.
Sure.
Okay, it's like it's like the what was the movie Indecent Proposal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like
No, you're
you
right.
know nobody wants another dude plowing his wife.
Right.
But when you're like destitute and you need money, and the guy says, "I'll give you $1 million," back when that movie was made,
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
worth
that's not a
$5 million now.
I'm
more. That's
I'm
like
like-
that's like
I'm
10 or
like,
20.
yeah.
please do no.
That's like 10 or 20 million now.
Oh yeah. at
And you're
least.
just like, we need the money. Like we're
Yeah.
drowning.
And that's
But you're like, that's life changing. But this could totally destroy our marriage, and I'm never
Yeah.
going to see you the same way.
Same way with the band. Then I get you.
It's the
Oh, yeah.
same thing.
Yeah.
You're married.
You're protecting the sanctity of that.
Yes,
Yeah.
dude. And so like, that's how you're making me feel right now.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
And you're showing that you would be civil and fair. If that is that
I
the right
like
word?
it.
Yeah.
No,
I do. I get that vibe
Chival-
from you.
chivalrous. Was that a shortened version?
Little
I don't
short and
know.
chivalrous. I don't know either. I've
Chivalry?
never heard
Is
that
that-
word
is that a
before.
word?
Is that a word?
I
It
think
is now.
I think
Yeah.
it is.
It
It's
is
an
now. It's
adjective.
rock and roll.
Yeah. Damn right.
It is. We make up words here as we go.
Like we don't say
along.
fire, we go fire.
That's right. Also very true.
Right?
Could you shatter a glass and have you ever?
I know you have.
No.
What?
Get out of here.
What do you mean? Like
You
with a vocal
definitely
thing?
could.
Yeah.
I've never even tried. I've no.
Oh my god, dude! I
I've
wish
seen
we had
I've
that
seen the
shit.
guy do that on
You would
YouTube.
do it.
I know
What's
you
his
could do it.
name?
I don't know, but
There's a guy that hits some crazy note
yeah.
higher than me. And
I mean,
yeah,
it's really about
he
getting the right
it's
glass.
resonating with the right frequency and
Yeah.
getting it
Yes.
and,
And then
then
feathering it and then launching it.
God,
and
I
then-
wish we had a glass here. I know. For
I
a
know he
fact
could
you
launch
do
it. I know he
I
could
don't
bring the
know.
bitch right on the thing.
I don't
Guys,
even-
I've heard him do it like in open air.
Really?
It's-
You've
it
seen
sounds-
that?
You came to the you and Shane jammed at the Sun's warehouse the other
long time ago.
umpteen years ago, and Shane goes, "Rip one for him, Todd. Rip a note for him." And yet you were behind the drums, I think, but there was a mic back there, and you just let one loose.
Did I?
And the PA was like not having it.
I don't
Shut
remember
down.
that.
I was like,
I
oh,
don't remember
my
that.
God. Yeah, we were having fun.
Yeah.
How often are you gigging now? You doing like once
two-
a
two
month?
times a
Couple?
month.
Yeah, perfect.
2 times a month, and if we pick up a festival or a beach thing, we'll hit that in between. Having fun with it.
Good, man.
Yeah, man.
Good.
I'm on that spectrum you were talking about just staying with it and making it part of my life. And I write the music and we produce music in here.
Yeah, but you have adult money.
Yeah, and we get to make our art and make the show
Yeah.
and do stuff we like
Yep.
this.
Yeah. Exactly.
To hang.
And
Yeah.
and getting to talk to you, man, has been absolutely fucking cool, fantastic.
Yeah.
I hope everybody learned a lot about
Damn right.
keeping yourself centered and being available when opportunity comes along, but forming relationships and staying loyal to the people that got you
Yeah.
there. I mean, it's a really beautiful story, dude. You are the last of your kind. There may be more out there that you're in company
sure.
with, but you're
Yeah,
one
I'm
of
sure
them.
there are.
Fucking Mohican. You fucking rock. Deep inside the
Absolutely.
music. Todd LaTorre.
Hell yes.
Lamangelo.
Willie
Fantastic
Bells.
discussion. Thank you so much for joining us,
Yeah,
brother.
thanks, bud.
I got a
Oh,
little
man.
gift for you on the way out.
Yes.
All right.
You better have fucking brought something for us.
My presents.
Okay, we'll take it. We'll take it. That was fucking killer, man.
Goddamn.